Hello, welcome to Trainz route building, the Milton Valley Railroad. So, let's just switch this over a little bit more. Is that good? Or is that, no, that's not. Oh, I know why this, yes. There we are, that's better. Hello, Kangavango. There's the stream title. So, let's switch over. This is what we were working on last time. So last time we made this area, as well as this area back here, and a little bit back here, but not really anything back there. So, it was brought to my attention that someone said that this doesn't look that good. The thing is that I don't really want the junction to be any sharper, any steeper. So the way I originally had it is this bit of track here was angled a bit further to the right, but I angled it a bit further to the left so that the track going over onto the side wouldn't be that steep. But I could also have this be a little bit further left just to begin with, so that it would be kind of like this, which I suppose it looks better. I don't know, it doesn't have that much character here anymore, but I suppose it looks looks better. So I might leave this like this, maybe, if you're lucky. So I want to, today, here, I want to finish, or at least get close to finishing this little area there, and then also start putting houses along here for the town, because that is a large part of this whole area in terms of how much it contributes to the feeling of things. But we haven't done it yet, so that's the thing that I will then do. So let's get started. You just set the filter on. Yeah. Can I wait? No, filter, there we are. So, do we need fences? I was going to put cars around here, but I don't really want to use those cars anymore because, again, I think they're the things that are lagging. So, do I want fences there? Probably. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe I should start with the buildings. I suppose that can stay there. And I'm probably going to put sidewalks just on this road because I don't really want to use the other one. Yes, of course. Okay, let's get this. Then let's go back up. And we're back. So I want a little bit of a field or something here. So I think I want the houses to begin there. Okay, and then let's just continue doing this basically for a little bit, but luckily it's not that big of a town. Also, I did want to have a road going up that way originally, But now that I'm looking at this, I don't know that I want that. I'll put it in and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay. Let's apply the height there. Then well, not increase necessarily. Let's set that terrain height to the road height there. I'll probably put in an intersection here, like a proper one. Okay. That needs to be moved like that. Okay. Lumber. Oh, right. Such a stunning fly through there. Love that. Going up. Why not? Lumber. Oh, sorry. Timber. Yes. So let's see if we can get an intersection down here. Might be useful. Although these are the other roads. Although I can have a look at this one. Maybe this one in the series of this asset. That might work. I know one of these doesn't work and one of them does. I don't think, no, this one's the one that doesn't work. This one? I think this one's the one that does work, if I recall correctly. Okay, so let's connect this up to here. And yes, this one indeed is the one that works. Great. So now I need to repaint the terrain under here. Just to get a little bit more grassy of a look, so it looks a little bit better. And I will paint with a gravel texture underneath as well, just to fit with the other roads in here. The other roads, I would not know, sorry. You mean Rhode Island? The other roads. Okay, get this one. Now turn the radius down all the way and just paint it up along up here. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Probably, yes. Good. Okay. So, yeah, the road's going up there. Now, next I think I should probably put in the sidewalk. If I want one. Which I might want one. Although it's that small of a town, there is a little hard shoulder or something like that along there as well. I think I'm gonna have to go down to the main town for that. And loading, loading, there we are. Or is that... Oh, that's... I see. I need... Hold on, where's the... Where's the asset that I need? Not the chaining fence. Ah, there we go. That's the one I want. And I think I'll start the sidewalk here. Other way around. So let's take that up to there. This one up to here. And then I think I'll want this one to go just up to there. And then a few more houses along there that aren't directly connected to the sidewalk. So it's like originally when they put in the sidewalk, there were only houses going up to here, and then they expanded a bit and they got planning permission to build here, and then they built houses there, but the sidewalk hasn't been built there yet, because that would mean that they would need a competent mayor up here, which they don't have. And so that's why the sidewalk only goes up to there. However, on this side, because the road's there, it actually goes up to that intersection. Or do we not even need one on this side? I think I think we'll need one going up to there, but maybe not further than that. There we are. Let's just see if I drag this all the way up to here, will that work? Or if I just drag it up to there, because that's where the station is going to be, and I want a little bit of an open area there. Actually, I might want it a little bit more of an open area there for cars to be parked or things like that over here. And then I'm going to have a sidewalk come from here all the way to the intersection. Okay, and then I want the sidewalk to come up there. Hello, VGR. I want the sidewalk to come up here for a bit. Pretty much only till here. Anthony Sarson too. Hello, welcome. Good to see you again. Building sidewalks, as you can see. It is a very hazardous occupation, as I'm sure you'll know. That doesn't look good. No, I'm gonna do it like this. That looks better. Well, if I straighten it and put this to where it needs to be and straighten that bit. No, I'm gonna just add a spline point in the center and then, well, near the center, and then fix it a bit. Hey, Kangafango! Hi. Yes. Okay. This one goes over to there, and that one connects up like that. Is that okay? No, this needs to be pulled back a little bit. Okay, I think that looks mildly okay. Hold on. That looks okay, I think. VC today? Not today. I'm a bit tired and I want to finish this, so... But maybe next time. Okay, so... Houses. Let's see, I need a corner house. Where is it? I think these ones are corner ones, are they not? Yes, these are. So I want a corner property there. I like Trainz. Good, because you're watching a Trainz live stream. And these houses, there's one in this series that I want to use particularly, which is this one. I think this would fit nicely over here where the station is. Oh, I also need a gas station or petrol station. Okay. And then maybe one yellow one there at the end. I think those ones fit quite nice with the red of this building as well, color-wise. And the water tank. Swoosh! Swoosh indeed. I do too. Do you prefer Trainz or Train Simulator? It depends. For building stuff, definitely Trainz. For driving, Train Simulator. Because in Train Simulator, things are they just feel more realistic. If you're driving in there, you feel like you're, well, what I would assume is close to feeling like you're driving a train. Whereas here, it still feels a little bit more like a model railway and it's a bit buggy sometimes, especially with steam locomotives as well. However, Trainz has multiplayer, which I've not had access to for a while because of updating issues, which, again, should be... I know I've been saying this a lot, but I'm on the cusp of updating to the most recent service pack. So, yeah, so it depends what for. If I just have to rate it overall, I would say Trainz, because all in all, I prefer building more than driving, I would say. I spend more time doing it, and if I spent the same amount building or driving, then I would get tired of driving much, much, much quicker than building. For driving TS, for reskinning and rebuilding trains, although I've never probably tried reskinning in TS. You? Same. Gotcha. From the cabs way alone. Service Pack 5 sucks. Why? Why do you say that? Have you noticed any severe issues with it? If Trainz had TS cabs sway, I'd definitely rank it higher in terms of estimated realism. Yeah, true. You have to load Trainz through Steam, and also the game has more bugs. What do you mean you have to load it through Steam? Oh, you mean if you have the Steam version. But if you've got the Steam version, then you've got to load it through Steam anyway, because Steam has to be running for that, surely. Because I've got the version from the Trainz store, which is standalone, it doesn't have Steam connection, so... and it crashes. Also crashes. I see. Yeah, well, I heard that Service Pack 5 wasn't in active beta for that long. And my guess is that they really just wanted to release it for TRS 22. But maybe they'll do another service pack afterwards. Like, if you have Steam, you can't load it through the app, even if Steam is running. Yeah, that does seem like a very severe bug. Did that work before? Yes. But you can still load the game, yes? Like, it's not completely gone. You just it's just a little bit more annoying to load. Is that what you mean? Never Trainz on Steam, so I have no experience with it. Yeah. Yes, you can still load it. Ah, well, that's at least something. You just can't open it from the desktop. You have to open the Steam app and open it with the Play in on Steam. All right, I see. Well, with the apps that I've got on Steam, I do that anyway, because, well, I suppose it's just easier. I've got lots of other stuff on my desktop, so the games that I've got on Steam, I quite appreciate that Steam handles the management side of things for me, so that I can, well, do other stuff. And here, that's where I want the gas station to go, so I suppose it's time to get assets for that then. By the way, Shaders, why do you not like third-party assets? I feel they are better than built-in DLS. Well, very easy. I agree that a lot of third-party assets are probably better than built-in or DLS assets. However, with third-party assets, the route isn't as easy to share. When I finish a route, then I want as many people as possible to be able to enjoy what I've spent so much time and effort in making. And if someone doesn't download, or if someone downloads the route and then finds, oh, it's got lots of missing assets, and then deletes it, and doesn't, or says, oh, third-party stuff, I don't want to download stuff, and then deletes it and doesn't even play it because of that, then that's just a shame. Additionally, it would mean that you can't do multiplayer. And I really like multiplayer, and I want my routes to have multiplayer support. So that means that I basically can't use third-party assets from that point of view. But yes, you're right. Most third-party assets probably have a higher degree of quality than the stuff that's on the DLS. Reasons. For me, it's not that inherently I dislike them, it's just that they're not compatible with my player. Precisely that as well. Good to hear. But like when I sent you like a third-party asset with a CDP, that's what I mean. Well, I just prefer to not have any third-party stuff installed because I make routes in this with this install. Hold on, that's not the right object. So I know that I could put a new filter. So, one moment. For example, here I could add a filter, and then I think there's a third party. Is there a third party? I don't know. I actually don't know if there's a third-party filter or not. I can't see one at the moment. But yeah, I just don't want to have to worry about whether or not an asset is third-party or not. So whether I can use it or not use it, and then maybe I forget to put the filter on, and then I use a good asset, and I realize, oh, it's third-party, and I've got to replace it and all that. I'd rather just not have to deal with any of that. Look, here's the refueling station for cars and other road vehicles, and you've got a refueling station for rail vehicles. Besides, when I download routes, there's almost always a missing asset. Yeah, but with my routes, I want to have there not to be missing assets. So yeah, I want to have. So when I mean, I rarely do this now, but when I do look on the DLS for routes or things like that, what I want from that is I want a route, I want to be able to download it, and it just works. And that level of ease of use that I want from others is something that I then also want to put in my own routes, so that others then have that when they download mine. So if there was a filter, but then with how Trainz does dependencies, because for example, if with the assets here I can filter for that, yes. But for example, if I go into edit session, so session put in session rules, then there's no way for me to see which ones are third party or not, or which ones are payware, which is annoying in and of itself. For example, there's a wait until time. I think this is the either the time check or another rule. I don't know exactly which one at the moment, but a rule that I used quite a lot, and as it turns out, it's payware, so I had to replace all of that because it doesn't list there. So yeah, or drivers or other dependencies, or loads as well, like commodities. 2132. I like that a lot. Okay, so do you have the N-line on Train Simulator? You mean the one that's mostly 25 miles per hour, Norfolk Southern, mostly set in autumn? Yes? Yes, I do have that. I played a little bit on that, but I don't find it very interesting. I just find it a bit boring because I don't know. The 25 mile per hour speed limit with not that much difference in scenery. It's mostly just trees left and right. Occasionally you've got some buildings or little towns that it goes through. And if you move the camera away a bit, you can see that there actually is a bit more scenery around. But if you're driving from in the cab, you don't really... It just isn't that interesting to me. I'd rather drive on like Donner Pass or now Mariah's Pass or something like that. Or even Norfolk Southern Coal District if I want to drive Norfolk Southern. Yes, I play it because I like switching industries, and also it's 25 miles per hour because it's a branch line. Yes. I mean, 25 miles per hour is fine if the scenery can support it. Which on that N line, I mean, it might just be the real life area like that. But to me, it just isn't... I know that's how it is IRL, but for me, I would prefer... Like, for example, I've got the northeast corridor route, and I barely drive on that either, because even though I know it's like that IRL, I just don't find it very interesting. I mean, if I do switching, then maybe I would play more on the N-line, but in Train Simulator I generally do more mainline work as opposed to switching. Air. Speaking of the northeast corridor. Yes, we're speaking of the northeast corridor. You're right. Almost all electrolyzers are done. Ooh, yes, I saw the pictures. They look very nice. I like the green as well. Yes, all there is left is the Orient Express livery. They have domes. Nice. Oh, dome. Almost all are dome. Ha. Well, I suppose no. It's I suppose streamlined. So no. Okay. Behind the upper side guards. Okay, are these ones all the ones with... Hold on. Ah, this is one that I want as well. A bungalow. Okay, then I'll add a few more of these houses along here. Okay. And then, do I want to use any of these houses over there as well? Sure. Well, yeah, I'll place some of them over here. Oh, that reminds me. There were some... Weren't there some... Ah yes, the miners' houses. These ones look quite nice. Maybe I can have some along here. Orange. Yes, orange. And then 2 here. Okay. Does that look good enough? I think the houses are too close together. With this much space here, I think they're too close together. I'll move these a bit further away from each other. Oh, you're going. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for stopping by. That one's not quite positioned right. Okay. Yes, that looks better. And then I'll move this one over there and this one there. And then I'll get one of these ones over there. Then move these ones a little bit away from each other, like that. Maybe I should look for a downtown area, because I think there's a good one of those. Hey, Stavaros! Stavaros! Welcome! How are you? Let's look for downtown. No, not downtown. Downtown. What were those assets called again that I wanted to use? Let's have a quick look. Are they just... Yeah, I think they were just in the... not the industry buildings. Not industry. Downtown buildings. Some of these ones maybe. Although the ones that I'm thinking of was like a group of buildings. Let's have a look. Ottawa? No. Downtown building. Oh, I think it was some of these ones, yes. No. Okay, that's... One of these is going to be the right one. Des Moines. Nope. Is it Atlanta? No, okay, I'm gonna quickly look on the CMR, which is still being reviewed. It's being reviewed by N3V. Well, it's in the queue to be reviewed by N3V, to be put up for sale as payware DLC. So you're gonna get another little preview of some of the area here. Sneak peek. To think how many years this route has already been almost released. But now it's actually being reviewed. Well, they might accept it through. They might say, no, some things need to be changed, and then I need to change things and resubmit it, and then who knows. So, let's go down there. Zoom in here. And the assets I wanted to have a look at were these back here. Now, what assets are these? Are these... Oh, City Block. City Block, that's what they were called. I wanted something like this. City Block small version. Yeah. By the way, this is seasonal as well, if you couldn't tell. Seasoned to perfection. I mean, I wouldn't say so myself, but I mean, if you think so, I mean, who am I to disagree? Okay, well, yeah, something... I wanted something like that. Which means I'll probably have some sort of car park area or something then and back here as well. Then I need one more group. Should, like just around here. Come on. Just like that. Ish. No, not fish. And I'll probably want like a row of trees along there. And then I'll have these buildings along this bit. Okay, and I don't know if I want a road back here, so I'm going to delete these ones for now. Yeah, that looks better, having some of these buildings over here. Okay, so let's have a look. Maybe I do want another little road going like back around here to have some more buildings in this little area. Do I want this road? Sure, why not? And then I'll have this come in there. Bit wonky there. Let's see if we can fix that. Okay. Then let's have a look at the miners' houses. I need to put on the filter again. Research that. Not research that, but research that. Although that feels a little close. Let's give it a little bit more space. Haha, yeah. We're not playing Civ 6 today. Not today. And not this Monday either, as far as I'm aware. I'll rotate this one like that. And another one on here, why not? So stuff like that, how does that look? Looks okay, but I preferred if these houses were on the other side of the road, and on the inner side of the road, I'd like to have the bigger ones. I think that would look a bit better. Wait a sec, what's with the music? What music do you mean? I could hear very faint music in the background a second ago. Ah, yeah. That's... yeah. So, with the... I've got the... what's it called? I've got a video of QuickTime Player open on the side that I was watching. Paused it. But then when I have because I've got the buttons to change volume for the game and for things up here, I must have pressed the button. It did start playing a moment ago, but because it's quite long, sometimes it kind of catches and then it doesn't. It's a bit weird. Sometimes when I press the button, it starts playing. Then when I press the button again, it doesn't really stop. It's a bug that was with YouTube as well, where if I press the button, it doesn't. It's like I have to click the button for it to not play, as opposed to press the button on the keyboard for it to actually stop. To not stop, sorry. Yeah. I should really close it because it might also be taking performance, but I'd have to write down how far I watched it and then, well, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I'm surprised that you could hear it either, because I did turn it down quite a lot. I turned it down so far, just enough to hear whether it actually stopped or not. But I didn't think the microphone was good enough to pick it up. Hold on, let me... Are you sure that that is what you heard? Because, hold on, let me start again, one moment. Oh, that's gone past the bit where the music is. Hold on. Does it pick it up like this? If it's going like this, can you actually hear it? That is really interesting. Huh. Very faintly. Extremely quiet. Well, I guess this is a quality microphone. So yeah. I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes, because I've just now clicked over to pause it with the mouse. But if I start it, hold on, let me go. Okay, that doesn't matter. If I start it like this, and then if I press the button on the keyboard, so I've just stopped it. Now it's resumed. It might be an app that's running at the top or something like that, I don't know, but I have to go over there and manually stop it. So that's why sometimes it starts playing if I was listening to it before. It's a bit annoying, I know, but doesn't really concern you. Okay, I think I'll put this house somewhere in the middle, because over here you can see I've got some red houses here and I've got one over here. So I think I'm going to put, actually, yeah, I'm going to put one of these red houses up here as to kind of fill in this gap without any red houses on the other side. Although it does look like I'm probably going to have to flatten the terrain a little bit. Which would be great if I had shadows on to discern whether it's actually on the ground or not. Cast shadows, true. I could, but then I'd have to restart Trainz, and restart Trainz, and there's another opportunity for it to go into a forced database repair. So, I mean, I could if I wanted to risk that, but I really don't. Print, that option is not available. Apologies for the delay. Yeah. Do I like the looks of that? Yes, I do. Okay, then I think I want 2 of these houses next to each other. Either that or we've just got quality ears. Yes. But then I'm surprised that you've only now just heard it, because that has happened quite a few times during my streams, that it just starts playing in the background. And I mean, it's okay with this because here I can go over and then click if I've got it up, if I've not got it pushed over to the side or minimized or something. But when I play TS, Train Simulator, then I have to use the keyboard button, where it just then sometimes keeps resuming. I'm really surprised that you've only now heard it then. Actually, I don't know if it ever happened. Actually, no. No, that's when I play TS off stream, because when I play TS on stream, I close QuickTime Player because I don't want the music to be, or the video to be recorded on stream, because I've got the audio on for that. That's why you've never heard it on there. That's the explanation. It's because because when otherwise I close it. It's just with Trainz, because I don't record the audio most of the time anyway, because, well, there's no audio to record. I just have to switch all the drivers, the sound device over. That's why that's happened. Maybe it's just because I've never really paid that close attention to background noise. Maybe. Or maybe that's what I said. Or the thing that I said, maybe that's that. Those houses are a bit too far apart. Also, I don't really want... well... actually, no, I do want them there. Although all of these being the white ones, I think I prefer having... where are they? They're right here. I think I would prefer having like a bluish one up here. Quick, cuddle them together. That's not really bluish enough. Actually, thinking about it, I suppose if I'm not recording the stream audio anyway when I do Trainz, I suppose I could have some music on in the background, but then that might be distracting from actually streaming and providing conversation. Right. Will those... oh, right, heist as in houses. Get garages, driveways? These ones up here? Probably. But, yeah, maybe... Probably yes. Depends how much you would be able to see them. Okay, just sort of like that. Oh, and I think, well, sure, let's add a water tower as well. This one, yeah, sure, why not this one? Decorative or otherwise? No, just decorative, just over here. Yeah, that really pulls it together, just having that water tower there. Now, look, now it already looks much better, doesn't it? So you come in from down here, come up here through the little roofed area, over the bridge, along here, past here, hold on. Let's have it load. Or not, I guess. Come on. Where did it go? How strange. It's not in hiddens. Maybe for some reason it just didn't load. I'll reload the route to double check. Comes along here. This bit's not quite finished yet, of course. Come down along here under the bridge. And as you come in here, you see the town with actual buildings there. Industries. Isn't that nice? Okay. Now the question is, do I actually want a hedge or of some description back here? I do want a fence around the water tower, but I'm not sure about the hedge. Okay. Gate. And then I'll move this into the ground, probably. And then I want like a dirt road or something going up there. Probably just grab the texture and paint it on. Just kind of going back, this way. Just stuff like that. UK hetero. Ah yes, got a fence off the water tower as to not create a hazard for roaming children and other humanoids. Well, humans. But I'm sure resourceful people or animals could get over there, especially if they've got wings. So, do I actually want... let's... I don't know. Do I want there to be fences or hedges around the houses? Or do I just want them to be in the open like this? Because I know that in the US, in a lot of towns, the houses are literally just standing on a field like this. Let's just grab this texture. Is that the one I wanted? Yes. Also, you missed some 2008. Oh, really? Oh, why has that not got the... it keeps turning off the chat time. Oh, where is it? Show mod icons, show moderation actions, show messages caught by auto mode, chat appearance. Oh, it's in chat appearance probably. Ah, there it is. Right. It's time for animated yaks. Wait, no. Sorry, wrong script. Here you go, Charles. Oh, right. That's peculiar. Love it. Okay. Haha. Maybe you have some P fenced off and some not. I don't know. Yeah, there's the things. Already got it. Okay, so here I want a little bit of this texture mixed in, just to make the field look a bit better. And I think I do want a fence around here, if this is like an enclosure or something like that. Well, a meadow. Also, look, there's Shvedar. See, he stood up. You recognize his name. If you don't remember, that's actually what the object's named as an Easter egg. Also, I've grabbed the wrong spline I've just seen. Yes, Shvedar. Yes, indeed. Barbed wire fence one. The German Shepherd, yes. Not an actual shepherd who is also German, but just a German Shepherd, as in the yes. Okay, and then I'll need a gate of some description down here, probably. Not a kissing gate. Which, incidentally, if you don't know what that is, it is this, basically. Or that. Tell you what, I'll just grab the object from down here again. A joke I've heard. No, not heard. Ah. Okay, where did I use the gate? There we go, there's the gate. Yesterday, a German Shepherd bit me in the leg. He apologized to me, though, and even introduced me to his dog. Yes. Or how about, and even introduced me to his human. Or something along those lines. Oh, not that. No, I didn't mean to place that. It's because it's got gate in the name. It's corrugated something. Well, yes, that too. XD, the D. Yes, yes, I know. Just a little bit like that. Maybe a tiny little bit more. Okay, just so you can see that there is actually a gate there. Okay, now let's place some trees along here. Actually going to go back to the city for that. Get some of these trees here. Let's get the Coniferous Trees first. I need to introduce that as a place name somewhere, be it in my OMC2 map, in a Trainz map, or in one of my starter games. I read that as standard games. XD as a town, village, or hamlet name. Ah, there it is again. XD. Ah, again. Ah. Yeah, XD. I like the look of these coniferous trees up here. It makes it feel it makes it feel a little bit different than the other towns, like it's higher up. Well, I'm not too keen on those two there. But maybe one of them. Maybe one of these ones there. Oh, there. Maybe a little bit closer. Lovely. Is this where the higher-ups live? Some of them. Well, that's a large tree, don't you think? I mean, that just that just dwarfs the other stuff. That makes them look like toy houses. No, that's too big here. Also, will this town get a playground, or will the children be left to play in with the local bears in the woods? Well, I mean, I don't know if this. I mean, maybe. I don't know, they're probably just going to play over here in this little green bit back there. I don't know if a playground would really be needed here. Although a little church might be good. We really need some good yew trees in here. Or by in here I mean in the Trainz game. Let's just have the church right here, just as you enter the town. Just... and then we need some trees on the side as well. Well, first, maybe just a play gym or two. Maybe just swings. Maybe yeah, swings should be fine. Ticket booth? No. Entry is free, but donations are welcome. And if you don't donate, well... then you're totally not going to be shunned. Yeah, just kind of hidden up there a little bit. Although this tree needs to be moved over slightly. There we go. So you're just kind of hidden up there. You can kind of spot it from some angles. Sure, if you don't do that, that's too bad. Will there be a graveyard? I don't know. But I can maybe place swings. Just here. Oh, this one. Is this only a European thing, or do you get these fairs in the USA as well? Or is it only a European thing? It can be spotted from some angles, but can it be spotted from some Saxons? Oh, I thought you were going to say angels. In whose property are those wings? The city property. Because this is actually just a suburb from a huge metropolis, which is just over that little hill there. Yes. Sure. Wow! Wow! Good impression of a dog. Oh no, we might get another XD. Shh. Well, I must be off. It's getting pretty late here. See you all tomorrow. Yes. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you for stopping by. Some of these are a bit too far back. I want these to be a little bit closer around here. No, those are too many. Hold on. Although I did say that I wanted a little row of trees along here. It's kind of like a bit of a barrier. Okay, and then I'm going to get the asphalt texture from Northusia. think that's the one. Yes, coming, and then there were 3. Then there were 3. Ah, that's not actually the texture that I wanted, but actually that might look quite nice here. Although now I do need to find one of the other textures that's mixed in here. Like that one. I think that one will do. Otherwise it'll just look much too clean. Use the trapeze texture maybe? No. No, that wouldn't fit very well. Actually, maybe if I look for city. Some of these textures would probably fit quite nicely in here. Although I'm not too keen about that gap. I think it might look better if I move it into the ground slightly so it doesn't have the sidewalk there, and then I maybe move it a little bit closer so that it's actually on the sidewalk that I've got here already. And then I need dumpsters. Not dumpsters with city filter, not in textures either. Just some of them back here. It's quite a large area back here. Maybe a little bit more of the texture along, not that one. A little bit more along there. Then probably I'll add some more of the trees going along this way. Just a few of them. It's maybe a little bit too many, maybe. Move them down to the ground slightly. Just to create a little bit of a barrier there. It's not much of a barrier, I know. Maybe just like that. Ish. Like this. And that looks good, I think. And then I don't know what this little gap here is being used for, if anything. It might not be used for anything. If not, hold on. Well, dumpster up the place. Does the town also have a cinema? Well, that's a coffee shop. One of these might be a cinema. Why not? books. No, that'd be too large. I don't know. No, I think if there's one, then it'd probably be one of these ones here. That's that. Oh, we could have a school bus there. Like, that's where they store it. For later use. Will there be a koi pond with fish? I don't think so. Oh yes, they're showing the local thriller comedy musical Books. Critics baffled across the globe. Yes. White roof or yellow roof? Well, yellow roof, why not? Okay, then I'll grab this kind of stony texture and just paint underneath the station here, because I do want there to be a little area where cars can park and things like that. But probably not that close. I think I do want a little tiny bit of like a green stripe along there, like that. A little bit more like that, ish. Hold on. There we go. Just like that. And I'll place some splines along here as well. See how much that adds. It's going to be fun to do sessions up here. Actually, that's fine. And I don't want a whole lot of grass splines up here either. I want it to feel a little bit different than the other areas. Oh, I've just thought of something. We're going to need a footpath to connect up to here. Or I guess you can just use the hard shoulder. Or because the bridge does have a footpath on the side. But I suppose you could just walk along the side there. It might be a little dangerous though. It would kind of ruin the aesthetic of some places here, along here. I don't know. Will the platform get benches? Not sure if platform benches are that common in versions at the stations, or at least on smaller stations, but still. Sure. Well, this one is for goods, so no. And over here, well, you've got the station building where you can sit down in the waiting room. Yes. Maybe I'll add some, I don't know. And this town area is looking quite similar to how I had imagined it way back when I started this branch, only with less waterfalls. I mean, the way that I had imagined it was with less waterfalls. Will there be a local fire brigade? Maybe. Maybe. I do have this asset which might fit, but I don't know where I'd put it. Maybe back here, but I don't know that that would be very efficient. Come out here and then you'd come along out there. Well, let's just say they don't get a lot of fires here. And that seems a bit too bright. I suppose I should use this one. Yeah, let's just have that there. Or actually, let's have it turned a bit like that. And then we need like a keep clear sign. Oh, is that a... Hold on, what did I just download? Oh, it's incompatible. It's for the new version. No, not that. There we are. No, there we are. Come on, I need to get on the temp block layer. There we are, keep clear. Maybe increase the height a little bit. Like that. Although that's a bit too high. Like that. What's that? Stop you when lights are flashing. Yeah. Okay, and I'll download the right one as well. There's also one with arrows going the other way for the other side. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now. Imagine if the police station was back there as well. Then any crook who wanted to, well, any arsonist wanted to do, would have to do, is block this one access point, and both the police and the fire guys would be out of commission for a bit. That does seem a bit dangerous if you're walking along here and then bang, hit your head. But people back in the day weren't looking at their hands constantly, so they would probably see where they were going. I know, shocking. Fire guys, why not? Looks a bit too modern maybe, but like the outfit. The fire station is in dire need of rooftop helipad. Yeah, so he's basically just standing there, keeping an eye out, making sure that the access way is clear. I guess I do have this one, but he's from the 1940s. I think that does look a little bit too old. Yeah, the reflective high-vis outfit doesn't look very sexy, but who knows? I don't know. Not necessarily high visibility, also heat protection. So I've got this one, but that guy looks too old. I think. Anyway, I can replace him later if I need to. Not the job, I mean the asset. He's not going to be out of a job. No, 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 no. I mean, I can have a look on the DLS. But these ones, but they don't look very right either. That guy, no. Skeletons, no. Maybe more like that? I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea anyway if I don't have correct assets. Okay, well, let's add in the driveways. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. There we are. No, the 1940s one looks too old. You wouldn't recognize it as a fireman. I don't know if well, if you're down here, it looks okay, but they're too. Those are too bright compared to the ones on the other side of the road. Well, maybe if I just look for pavement. Maybe just something like that. That's a little bit narrower. That looks better. Because if you're looking at it from further away, on this side, you don't really see the dark one that much. It's the bright one that catches your eye, and that one's very narrow. So if you look at it like this, then it fits much nicer together, left and right. Maybe there are newer uniforms, but that particular fireman is proud of his original fireman's uniform that he doesn't want to give it up. No, that wouldn't make sense. It's good. Should they all be identical? Yes, looks much better. Do cars fit on them? Maybe, who knows? Oh yes, that reminds me. That's not the bill. I want a billboard here, but not that billboard. Evening Post, why not? It's so hard to find cars from this period. I mean, I can get a tow truck, put a tow truck on there. So yeah, you can see it does fit. Sure. Maybe a welcome to XXX, population 203 sign as well. Maybe, but I don't know what this has to do with... Oh, I see, the XXX is a placeholder. It's not referencing something else. Oh, I see. Nice. Sure, yes, why not? Phone booth. I mean, well, we might as well have a phone booth over here, just in case someone needs to make a call from the gas station. Actually, that looks quite nice. Okay, well, let's get a thumbnail. I mean, that might not look too bad. Oh, right, the stream's over. Change the time? I think I like it like this. Ooh, the water tower, yes. Although it just looks a little bit empty there. If I just lower the slide, well, doesn't really do that much. The water tower looks nice, but otherwise that looks a little boring. Maybe just like that. If it looks good in Trainz like that, but if I see the small window down in the corner, which you can't see, of the screenshot, like that's roughly thumbnail sized, it just looks boring. How about that? Oh, you wouldn't. You don't want to watch something that when you already see that's finished like that. You want to see enough. You want to see enough on the thumbnail that it looks interesting, but not enough that you can already see the entire end product of whatever you're going to watch, because then you've basically already feel like you've watched it. So then there would be no point in actually watching it. So let's. Oh, I didn't do. Oh, it didn't crash. Great. So I think one of those should be fine. Maybe I'll train. No, I think we're good. So I think, yeah, that went quite well, I think. Look, we built all of this stuff on the town, all of that stuff there. Phew. Good. Okay, so thank you all very much for watching. This stream will, in fact, be archived on YouTube. And yes, tomorrow, I'm going to probably stream some more multiplayer truck simulator with Kangafango and Slovak Eagle, if that's the plan. I think that's the plan. You can, if that's not the plan, then, well, that's not going to happen, but I think that's the plan. Or ATS, yes, right, ATS, that's the real plan. So, also, PLC is still on the timetable. Planet Coaster, yeah, I don't know, yeah, Planet Coaster was really more. It was never its own series. It still isn't. It was more just the MISC slot. We had a series of concurrent. Concurrent, is that the right word? I think concurrent is the right word. One after the other. Hold on. I think that. Let me just look it up. Come on. Oh, it's lagging. One moment. Anyway. There we go. No, that's not the right word. Concurrent. No. I mean, one after the other without break. Like, a few streams of that. I gave it its own color. So it's got its own playlist, but it's really more of a MISC thing. Originally, I did want to have it in the MISC playlist as well, but I was given some input that it might be better to have it as its own series, so I made it its own thing, but it really is more of a MISC thing. And I do want to get back to it, but I've not had. Well, maybe I will. The thing is, I've not had a lot of TS lately, so I want to do a bit more TS, and then there are other MISC games that I want to play as well. So, yes. Should it just be TS MISC then? I don't know, maybe. Also, I've finished and submitted another repaint of the DLS for Ed Heaps, Gresley P2 SR Malachite Green. Should be available on the DLS in about 23 hours. Nice! Yes, I've seen pictures. Good night. Bye-bye.